thought I'd do a flip through of my first month in my DIY Hobonichi, which I call my Fauxbonichi. You may recall that when I started doing this, I actually had this book that I was using, and I only used the first couple of pages. I basically did the end of April. And I have another use for this book, so it's not going to waste, but Miss Vicky B very kindly sent me the big monstrosity, the big chunky one, which works much better for this, because these are very expensive. They're like £14 each, and I would have needed 2 or 3 of them to get through the year, whereas this I only need 1 and it works out about £10. So I made my cover myself. It's a slip cover. I'll show you the inside in a second. I'm just holding it together for now with my spare Midori elastic with my little fox charm on there. He goes very nicely with the Hansel and Gretel woodland theme on my fabric. And that's just to hold the book together because it's very floppy. So my cover is just a slip cover. Got some pockets here that I can put various bits and pieces in, although I don't tend to. It's a bit weird to write on it. But, you know, if I do need to pop a pen in there or whatever, I can do that. Stick the elastic on and I'm good to go. I've left the first couple of pages blank and I just added to them the other day. So I've still got a blank page here, just in case I need it. On this page, I put the date that I started it, and I will put the date that I finish it, because I don't know how long this book's going to last me. It should last a year, but I'm not 100% sure. This is a Robin Marie art card that I got from her Etsy store. And on here, in my black Pentel pocket brush pen, I wrote the characters Te and Cho, which is what is on the front of the original Hobonichi Teicho. So I'm probably butchering those pronunciations. I'm still learning Japanese, bear with me. But yeah, I thought it would be nice to put the characters on there, even though it's not technically a Hobonichi. It's my version of it, and you know, I just thought it would look nice on there. Then on the next page, I printed out these monthly blocks. Now these are from a website called Scrappy Dappy Inky something. I can't remember the exact thing. I will put it down in the description below, and it's also, if you follow me on Pinterest, it's in my free printables section. I just printed them out. They're actually Project Life cards. They should be this size. I printed them out 2 pages on A4 and cut them out, stuck them on, and I'm using this to log the page of the month, the first page of the month and the last. So May runs from page 1 to 34, June runs from page 35 to 67. And in here I just put events, major events or pages that I want to note. So I've got Beltane on there, I've got the day I had my pixie cut, I've got the day I went to see X-Men, Days of Future Past. I just thought it'd be nice to have a quick reference there of major events. So I've put a whole year on here because it's a 400-page book, so it should last me through to the end of April 2015. It's possible that it'll last me a little bit longer, so just in case, I left this page blank. Then I've got my front page for May. This is, as close as I could get it, the layout for the Hobonichi Teicho on the website. I just basically Googled for images and found how it was set up, and I've done as close as I could do. The coming up page, that is the front page for the month, I don't really need to use because I'm not using it as a planner. So what I thought I would do instead, I've just put something fun there. It's just another free printable that's on my Pinterest board. Can't remember where I got it, but it is on there and it is linked to the original source. I've got another free printable here that is the calendar for May, again linked on my printable board on Pinterest. And then down here I've just got the contents for May. So I've got the page that week 18, week 19, week 20, week 21, week 22, and the page number that starts that week. So if I needed to go to week 20 for any reason, I can go, oh, page 15, da-da-da-da-da. There's the first day of week 20. I can't imagine why I would want to do that. I just thought it would be useful to have some sort of index of major events and just the weeks, so I can find things easily. I've just put some, you can see I went for a pink theme for May, and I just put some pink washi tape on so that when you hold it up you can see I've got pink washi tape there, and then I've got a red stripy washi tape there for June. I've also, instead of just colouring the edges of my paper, I found that didn't stand out very well for me, so instead what I did was I wrapped little page flags. I actually coloured this one in, that's a better one. I wrapped these little page flags around them. I just literally chopped them in half, wrapped it around the page. One flag does 2 pages, wrap it round, stick it on, job done. So I've got my May, and then underneath for June I've got a different one for June, and then I'll have another one for July underneath. Just makes it a bit fun, a bit different. So that's my cover sheet for May. And then I set up the monthly calendar, but of course because I'm not using it as a planner, I'm only using it as a journal. I didn't really have a lot of use for this other than logging major days, which I've already got in several other places. So what I thought I'd do was use this to log the weather. I missed a few days because I wasn't quite used to logging it properly, but most of the time I've got the date, the high, the low, and the overall weather for the day. It's quite fun. Up here I put, you get so many boxes, I think it's 5 boxes on the Techo for logging important dates. So I've put things like the spring bank holiday, my mum's birthday, things like that. So days that I wouldn't necessarily put on my important events, but things that happened in that month. And then here, this is a free printable I got from somewhere. Again, everything you see that's a free printable, if I say it's a free printable, it's on my free printables board on Pinterest. I'll link to it below, you can go and find whatever you need. This says what we watched. It's just a printout flag. It was actually on a card originally and I cut out the flag. And I've just logged all the series and things that I watch, because I'm a big Discovery Channel person. I like to watch a whole series on stuff. So I've just put the date and when I started watching each series. And if necessary, which series of that programme, if that makes sense. So Solving History, series 1 of 1. And then I've put films in here and all sorts of other things. Criminal Minds, season 10, episodes 12 to 24. So that's what I've been watching during that time. I also put things like, or I intend to put films, audiobooks, that kind of thing in there. I still wasn't sure what to do with this bit down here, so in June I actually made the grid a bit larger. So it's got rid of that extra space that I didn't need, and I can put what I've watched down here, because I have really tiny writing. I can fit like 3-4 columns along there easily. My book did start coming apart a little bit, just at the edge here, so I just put some washi tape over it. You'll see that on a couple of pages. There's some there as well. It's clear tape. It's only the first few pages that it started happening on. So instead of using this section for the weather, which is what a lot of people have been doing, I'm actually logging the day's events. So May the 1st was Beltane. And for most of May, I was doing little doodles, I was writing snippets, I was printing things out, using my beloved diary stickers, of course. I love my diary stickers. And again, I set up in the same format as the Hobonichi. So I've got the date, and then I've got the day, the month, the week. This section is for the day number and the moon phase. And like I say, this section I use for special things that day. Everybody keeps saying how many squares they've used. I'm not quite sure what that's about, but if anybody needs to know, I used 6, 8 and 2, which actually I counted on the Hobonichi pages, and that's how many they have according to their grid. However, their grid is a different size to this one, so you know, I did it that size because I figured, you know, that'll work for my writing, because my writing's so small anyway. I am putting a quote down here every day. I didn't bother putting the calendar on every day because I've got a calendar on the front piece there, so I've just put a quote each day instead. Sometimes I print one out, or sometimes I doodle it, sometimes I just write it. More doodling. And the kind of things I write in here is not like the kind of things that I would normally journal about or do in my art journal. For instance, this is just, you know, Saturdays were made for lions, and it's got a picture of the little bunny girl with her little doggy snuggled up in bed. Because we had a lion that Saturday. And then underneath I did some housework. So I drew a Hoover. Sometimes instead of just writing on the paper, I like to use these sticky notes. I just glue them down. These are the Sentimental Circus ones. I think a lot of people have got these ones. So there's 6 designs, and they're quite cute. If I don't have particularly anything to write, for instance, Sunday, May the 4th, I didn't do anything. It was a Sunday. Sundays are my day off. I do nada. Not a thing. So it was Star Wars Day, so of course I had to draw some Star Wars figures. May the 4th be with you, for those of you who don't get the joke. I love drawing chibi characters. I'm really bad at it, but I like drawing them anyway. So I drew a chibi Darth Vader and a chibi Yoda. And then I really liked the Google logo, so I went in search of the original picture and put that on there. Because it was Audrey Hepburn's 85th birthday, or it would have been if she was alive, and she's one of my role models. I love her. She's one person you know when they ask you if there was one person in past or present you could meet, who would it be? It would be her. Audrey Hepburn. I would love to have met her. Yeah, more doodles. You can see sometimes my pen shows through, but that doesn't bother me. I just ignore it. I just use a bright colour over the top. I use little sticky notes sometimes up here. These are just little sticky flags that I got in a cute little set in the works. They don't stick very well as sticky notes, but you know, if you whack a bit of glue on the back, they stick just fine as labels. So I tend to use them for bits and pieces like that. When in doubt, fill up spaces with washi tape. I haven't got anything there because I actually have a photo that I'm going to put in there for that particular day, but I need to get it printed out properly. I can't get the size right on my printer. It's either too small or too big, so I've got to take it down to Boots and get a proper photo printed. A real photo, goodness me. I love drawing little drawings. For me, that's part of the appeal of the Hobonichi, is doing, you know, printed stuff and photos and all sorts of things next to these cute little doodles. They're not artistic, you know, proper cartoons or whatever. There are some very talented Japanese journalists who do very, very, very good kawaii and manga type drawings. I'm not very good at that, but I do love drawing chibi versions of myself with my crazy pink hair. And I was putting curtains up, so that's me precariously perched on a stepladder putting up curtains. And you can see here I've got the phase of the moon written in, and I also put in that it was in Leo because I do moon magic and things like that. So for me, what astrological correspondence it has is important. Watched a film, printed out the DVD, did a review, drew a little picture of myself in bed with the puppies. Something about my pillow, I don't know. Oh, I was getting headaches and I couldn't figure out why, and it was because when my friend had been here the week before, I'd loaned her my pillow, and I'd been getting headaches ever since, and I couldn't figure out why. It was because I had a pillow missing. Again, not the kind of thing you put in your journal, but as this little snippet in here with a funny little drawing, it's quite cool. I was watching UFO programs and things. We had cookie dough ice cream for tea. That's us eating our cookie dough ice cream. And I did some journaling in the studio with Miss Maddie. So there's me doing my journaling and Miss Maddie sitting watching. And Gypsy had an altercation with the postman. So there's Gypsy sitting in the doorway looking at the postman, and here's the postman with a parcel. He was practically standing on the other side of the road, leaning over the fence as far as he could, trying to get the parcel to me without actually being anywhere near Gypsy. It was hilarious. And she was just sitting looking at him like, what are you doing? I thought it was very funny, so in it went. I started getting a little bit more into the drawing and stickers as I went along, as opposed to just printing out big bits and pieces, because this is kind of my standard journaling default, is just printing things and drawing things, but I don't always do the cartoon type and the kawaii type drawings. Normally I'm quite arty, so I do art journaling type drawings, but you know, I've got quite into these little chibi versions of things and cute kawaii stuff and little doggy stickers. This is Miss Maddie and Gypsy not speaking to Scooby because he had a fight with Gypsy. And they wouldn't have anything to do with him all day. Every time he came in the room, they walked out again. It was really funny. They forgave him eventually. So again, this was Mum's birthday, so I wrote that up there as a thing that was happening that day. I wrote in that I got some happy mail, put in one of the little notes from my friend Nina. As I went along, I started changing what I was putting here. So sometimes I'll put a quote, and it's quite often one I've seen on Facebook or something that day that has caught my eye, and I thought, oh, I like that one. So this one says, in life we have 3 choices: give up, give in, or give it everything you've got. I like that. This one is more of a joke, which I thought was very funny. It appealed to my sense of humour. Teacher, if you have 10 chocolate cakes and someone asks for 2, how many do you have left? Me, 10. Teacher, okay, well, what if someone takes 2 of your chocolate cakes by force? How many would you have left then? Me, 10, plus a dead body. Oh, that really appealed to me. Not least of all because I'm really bad at maths. But yeah, my inner goth had a chuckle at that one. Again, yeah, I had some nice chocolate, and I took a photo of the packaging so I'd be able to find it again. Also found some really nice mayonnaise that I liked. Mojito sauce. Oh, it's mayonnaise, lime and mint. Oh, and it's lovely. Anyway, us having a lazy Sunday on the couch with the puppies. I tend to draw in ink, and then I'm using either watercolour pens or watercolour Inktense pencils and a water brush. If you use a water brush, it dries quite flat. You can see it's not, you know, it went through a little bit on this side, but not horrendous. And then I kind of go over it in pen and add little details and things like that. Me dyeing my hair. This is what it usually looks like. The days I dye my hair, my shower looks like something from Psycho. This was a sweet packaging that Renee sent me in a pen pal swap. And these were really, really nice little sweets. I'm not very into sweets particularly, but I do like boiled sweets, and these were grape flavour and they were just really, really lovely. The perfect amount of not too sweet. I really liked them, so I stuck one in my, well, not the sweet, obviously, I stuck the wrapper in my journal. She sent them from Korea, so, you know, we don't get them here. I had an altercation with the shower, so I drew the shower, and the current settings on my shower are Arctic Blast and Molten Lava. There is no in between. And it was Monday, so I thought this quote was quite appropriate. It says, "If Frodo can get the ring to Mordor, you can get your ass out of bed." More just writing and doing pictures, and I found this in a magazine, I really liked it. I had nothing going on this day at all, so Miss Maddie was helping me with my planner, so I took a photo of her and stuck that in there. My little foster boy Scooby, sitting looking out the window with me. He likes to sit and look out the window with me, watching the neighbours after lunch. This was a work day, and I had this picture. This is my goddaughters, this is Anam's children, and they had this photo, and I thought, hey, I know how I can use some of my animal stickers. So I drew a totem. So I did a totem with the animals, and then I put this here with a little, she's got a little koala on her head. I thought that would be cute. And then there's we started having a heat wave. Like suddenly we went from 12 degrees to 24 degrees overnight. And I don't deal with hot weather very well, so that's me not dealing with hot weather very well. It says at the bottom, Satan called, he wants his weather back. Something I like to do sometimes is put in these currently I'm lists, and you know, it's got things like what you're reading, watching, cooking, drinking, loving, discovering, spelling, whatever. I don't quite know what spelling's in. Oh, smelling, not spelling. Okay. I've got something personal on those pages, so I've just clipped that together. And then I wrote about my cats here because it would have been their 16th birthday. And that little sticky cat there looks just like my crow. Again, I've got something personal on that page, but you can see the main layout there. It's another quote I got from Facebook. I quite like printing out these background quotes sometimes. That one says, "I chose the road less travelled and now I don't know where the hell I am." Which, for anybody who knows me, will know that that's quite appropriate, because I get lost. I could get lost going to the shop. Just general chatting, what I didn't really do a lot. A lot of my days are working, so I try to, you know, if you're always at work, it can be tempting to think, oh, well, I've got nothing to write about. But, you know, I did have something to write about, and then I found a big quote and I printed it out. It's one of my favourite quotes, actually. And then this was the day I got my hair cut into a pixie cut. For those of you who don't follow me on Facebook or Instagram, that's my new pixie cut. You haven't seen it on camera yet, but you will at some point, I'm sure. I just haven't done any face-to-face videos or vlogs for a while. So yes, it's all bright red, and it's all short at the back. So I've gone from like waist length hair to a pixie cut in less than 12 months. Because I felt like it. And I found this, I've got some Alice in Wonderland stickers, and I found this one of the Red Queen. I thought it was really appropriate. It says, "Off with her hair." I don't know what the dogs are doing crazy noises about, but if you can hear weird noises, that is the dogs going around. Oh, and I found this really good quote from Coco Chanel, which is, "A woman who cuts her hair is about to change her life." And then this was the first day after I'd had my pixie cut. I woke up looking like this. 10 minutes later, I looked like this. And honestly, if you knew how long it used to take me just to get my hair to not be sticking up like the Mad Hatters in the morning, you would appreciate that that only took 10 minutes. No product, 10 minutes, and all I did was rake my fingers through it basically, and that's all I've been doing to it ever since. I don't do anything to it, I just wash it and leave it. Oh, it's wonderful. Anyway. I'm redoing my study downstairs, so I printed out the 2 pictures that I was using as inspiration, and I printed them out and put them in my journal. That's my 2 colour schemes from, again, pictures from Pinterest. Any pictures like this that I get, I pin them on my Pinterest boards, and I always find the source. So I always correct the source. So if you see something like this and I say, oh yeah, it's from Pinterest, you can find me on Pinterest at Romany, and it's somewhere in my boards. I think this is actually under one called Study or Interiors, I'm not sure, I can't remember. And then this was when I made my cover, this cover for my Fauxbonichi. I love saying that. Fauxbonichi. And I drew it because I sewed. I sewed something. I don't sew, okay? I can sew, I don't sew. Sewing is like cooking. Can do it, won't do it. But I needed a cover for my book, and I did have this really cute fabric that Rebecca Horwood sent me in a swap ages ago, and I've been hanging on to it for something really, well, not special, but something that really needed some cute fabric, and this is perfect obviously for a Hobonichi kawaii style journal. Someone sent me some huge red love hearts in a swap or a rack or something, I can't remember which. I think it might have been Joanna. Joanna sent me some, I was missing a few A5 Filofax pages for January, and she sent me her spares because she hadn't used them. And I'm pretty sure she sent me these in a swap. Another cool quote I found on Facebook. And for this day I had these little stickers, so I put in the times and, you know, what we did. So we got up early, had a lie in bed, coffee and snuggle with the puppies. And then we did the laundry, that's me and Miss Maddie doing the laundry. And we did some bits on the website, that's me sitting at the computer. Cooking dinner, that's me and Maddie fighting over a carrot. That happens a lot. And then we went to bed early after a nice quiet day at home. There's 2 dog walks in there as well, but there's only so many times you can draw yourself walking the dogs. This page I'm got something printed out that I'm going to put on here, but I haven't printed it out yet because I've run out of printer paper. This page I've got some, this is the day Maya Angelou died, and I've got a thing in one of my old journals that I want to look up because I want to write it in here. Because we studied I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings for A-level English, and I wrote something in my journal. I remember it really affecting me quite a lot, and I wanted to recapture that thought and put it in here, but I can't find my old journals, so I can't do it yet. And then more drawing and writing, and this was the day we went to see, this was a work day, but I got loads done. It was a really, really, really productive day, so that kind of reflects in the page, I think. And, sorry, squeaky floorboard. Then this was the day we went to see X-Men. So I started drawing chibis again. So I got Chibi Wolverine, Chibi Young Professor X, Chibi Young Hank, and Chibi Storm. And then I put my cinema ticket there. I keep all my cinema tickets. Every time we go and see a film, I keep it and I write a review of the film. That's what this is. I wrote what I thought of the film, which was very good. I absolutely loved it. I want to go and see it again. And then I put a quote from the film there as well. It's a Professor Xavier quote, and it says, "The past, a place of potential promise and possibility. We are the sum of our choices, as what we do now defines what we will do. Infinite decisions mean infinite consequences, for the future is never truly set." I thought that was quite good. And then this is the last day of May. Did a quick summary of May there. I've got really addicted to these yoga blackcurrant flakes. You get like 10 of them for £1 in the pound shop, and they're so delicious. And they're really filling as well. Me doing the hoovering in the house. Miss Maddie playing in the garden with the flowers. And then we're on to June. I've actually done 2 pages for June currently, and those are both on previous videos. So if you click on the page for the first or the second, anytime about now, it should take you to the videos.